All right, we're going to start recording in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Xvox Voice, the Xbox community. We're discussing E3. We're
What
here.
episode is this?
I blanked, to be honest. I completely blanked on the episode number. It's 98.
98.
I went to go say it, and I was like, I'm just going to go with the E3 approach. I'm blanking on the number. We just talked about it 2 seconds ago, but I can make this work. I'm just going to say E3. And then Vern comes out of nowhere with it. What number? Dustin? I know you forgot, motherfucker. I know. You think you're all smart and shit trying to get away with it, but no, we got your ass. Look, you gotta forgive me. It's Monday. We're not used to doing the show on Mondays. It's a Thursday
No.
thing now, you know? So, forgive me. But, let's talk about E3. We started off... I know we're here to talk about Microsoft, but we're going to talk about Bethesda for a second since we haven't... and we're going to run through that because we already talked about it on the Twitch show. And you can listen to our way more detailed information on the Twitch show. About the Bethesda conference, but I just want to get a general feeling. How did you feel about it, Vern?
I loved it, man. I
Loved
was really happy with it. It wasn't full of megatons, but it was really solid, and there were some surprises, and two in particular I just didn't expect.
Yeah,
so
that
was
card
really
game
exciting.
and amiibos. I mean, fucking amazing.
Exactly.
All right, Michael, what did you think of the Bethesda conference?
For the first conference, it's probably the best first conference in human history. And I mean, starting off with Doom and ending with Fallout, everything else in the middle was kind of like icing on the cake. I wasn't really impressed by anything that was in the middle, but I mean, all I need is Doom and Fallout, so.
Not impressed
I
with
think-
anything in the middle. You're crazy. You're crazy. There was some good stuff in there.
I'm not a huge Dishonored fan, so.
I understand. All right, and Steve, what did you think of Bethesda?
I thought it was good. I liked what I saw of Doom. I'm intrigued by it at least. I'm a Dishonored fan, so I was quite happy about the couple of things they announced there, and I'm much more interested to try Fallout 4. I feel like I need to go and play Fallout 3 now. So it was good. It was a good show, as Michael said. For a first show, it was really good. I think it's better than some of the shows that some people have been doing for years, such as EA. Presentation was good. Yeah, well done.
All right. Well, that's all we're going to go into Bethesda because we got Microsoft to talk about. I mean, like I said, you could go to our Twitch channel. We had a pre-show. It ran for a long time. Goes right into our impressions of the Microsoft show. So go check that out. It's on twitch.tv/Xbox Uncut, and please follow us there. Excuse me. Where to start? There was an awesome
beginning.
montage of all their big games that are coming, and it just showed each character flipping in, with the little text in it. I mean, that was pretty cool. It was totally different than seeing the Call of Duty thing pop right up. It kind of said, "Hey, we're all about games. We got tons of fucking games. We're gonna shoot games everywhere, and you're gonna love games because did I say games yet? And games, games, games." And that's kind of was the whole message for the beginning of the show. And then we jump kind of right into Halo 5, which is usually at the end of the conference and not the beginning of the conference. But it was fucking awesome. The graphics were stunning. I don't want to say I thought it looked like 900p at 60 frames per second, but I mean, on a live stream, it's hard to...
Can't tell. I mean, that stream on Twitch was pretty grainy, so.
I mean, I had a decent stream on Xbox, but I don't feel comfortable saying what it was.
They
I
didn't
don't
say
know.
the resolution. They
Yeah.
didn't confirm it. They said
And you know
60
what?
frames per second, and that's all.
It could still be worked on to make it whatever resolution. I mean, we don't know. It's still a little ways from release, from going gold. Maybe dynamic resolution. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I guess we'll see. But it sure looked good.
It looked fucking fantastic. Skyboxes were insane. The amount of people on screen at one point in time was flabbergasted. It was crazy. It looked like the scenes from the book. It looked like they went, you know what? We love the books. We love the lore people have written for the Halo universe. We love our lore. let's make it reality, and they've
The-
completely done that with the Xbox
The
One
chatter
version.
worked too, like between the players and everything. The NPCs, didn't get in the way. It seemed like it was pretty decent.
So you're going to have two teams, as we know. One team led by Locke, the other team led by Master Chief. What I found very interesting is we did not get a Master Chief trailer. We got a
I bet
Locke
we
trailer.
see that. I bet we see that at Gamescom.
Yeah, like we got a totally complete Locke trailer, and it was interesting because usually even with Halo 2 when they concentrated on the Arbiter, it was a Master Chief trailer. It was not they didn't hint at it, they didn't look at it. It was all about Master Chief, and it's cool to see that they're really pushing Locke to make him a fan favorite, like just to kind of like make him the underdog against Master Chief, if you will. I don't know. What did y'all think of the trailer? Since I don't want to go on. And
Well, it
on
wasn't
and
a trailer; it was the gameplay demo.
Well, you know what I mean. What did you think of the video?
It's really good. I mean, I kind of want to see more. To be honest, it was kind of short, comparatively speaking. There wasn't that much combat. Right, that was something I noticed. It seemed kind of weird. So I'd like to get that aspect of it more explored.
What did you think of the characters, though? I mean, I know you're into the lore a lot. Like,
We didn't get to explore much of the characters. I mean, granted, it was for the first time we've ever seen like the Guardians proper, which was important because those things are massive, and it's the subtitle of the game. So it's a good thing they actually showed them off for the first time in like a legitimate sense. So I think it's really important that they did that and gave it some screen time. I mean, at the end of the day, it was sort of something I was already going to purchase. So I was more interested to see when they talked about the new multiplayer mode, right? And they were talking about that. I was excited to see that more than anything else. So that's my personal thoughts on it.
I thought the Halo stuff looked good. I mean, I suppose on one hand it is Halo. It kind of looked as I expected, but I'm intrigued by the Locke stuff. Since they announced like the two teams and the sort of commands and stuff, I thought the commands looked okay. I have to see exactly how you control them. I think they talked about D-pad stuff, but it looked really good. The story's intriguing. I was a bit surprised that there wasn't Master Chief stuff, but he'll be at Gamescom or something. The multiplayer looks good. I mean, there'd been sort of rumors that it would be like bigger battles and that sort of thing, and that did seem cool. It seemed sort of Titanfall-esque in terms of the sort of the AIs and stuff. But I think it is good that they've gone bigger, and they've gone bigger how they're comfortable up to 24 players. So I thought it looked good.
It's on like specific modes though, which is another good thing. They didn't like say only 24 players. They're still gonna have like the 4-on-4 and imagine 8-on-8. But
it's still going to be an arena shooter. Like you're not going to go too insane with it, but then you're going to offer people that love big team battle.
Like the Warzone stuff,
Yeah.
which seems just nuts. That trailer was bonkers. So.
All right, so what they're doing is they're adding 24 people on the map. They are adding AI on the map at the same time. And didn't it say everyone versus everything? Or
Something like that, yeah.
so I don't know if that means like it's all 24 versus an insane amount of AI, or
I think it's 12 versus 12 with other stuff there.
yeah.
And I'd imagine you like control things and get stuff to spawn, and there's like neutral stuff. So it functions kind of like a MOBA a little bit with like how you gather things and get stuff on your side, which is interesting. So, yes.
I'm interested. I totally want to play it. I can't wait. It looks amazing. But we moved on from that. They didn't get into too much detail. Usually we get like a demo of Forge or something crazy, but we never saw anything like that. They kind of just wanted to hit on the campaign. They wanted to hit on the multiplayer, and they kind of like got off stage after that.
Yeah, that's pretty quick.
So
They're obviously saving stuff for Gamescom
Yeah.
with Halo 5. We're going to see
Chief,
more there.
Yeah.
We're gonna see Master Chief, and we're gonna get a better look at other stuff. But apparently, on today's show, that Major Nelson's doing, the end of it is gonna have a deep dive into Halo 5 multiplayer.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna see more about this Warzone mode.
It's also gonna be playable on the show floor, so people are gonna be able to check it out.
And this feels like a game that's a little bit farther off, but it's coming out this year, which is awesome. All right, Steve, what was up next? What happened at the show?
Next up was Recore by Keiji Inafune and Concept and Armature Studios, which is a studio run by ex-Metroid Prime leads. So it's like a girl and her sort of robot dog were sort of wandered through a desert.
It's the dog of the show. So.
The dog of the show, yeah. And then they eventually got into this sort of building or some sort of wreck or something, and then they fought against a load of robots or something, and then the dog sort of blew himself up, but his sort of like a blue orb sort of stayed behind. The core, yeah.
That's a word.
Yeah, and then she picked that up and put it in like a bigger robot, and then he was sort of back in that robot, and then they just sort of opened a door and sort of walked on. That was, I mean, for me, that was game of the show. It looks really interesting. It's out in spring 2016 as well.
Right. I wonder why we didn't see gameplay, considering it's spring 2016.
Gamescom.
Yeah.
It's
like a teaser for gameplay at Gamescom. Yeah.
Yeah. So get it announced there. Yeah. What did you think, Dustin?
I thought it was the best dog in show. I was emotionally attached to this dog. It looked phenomenal, but it's CG.
Right.
I think it's going to be either really funny or cartoony based, like it'll be great for people of all ages. But I mean, I can't. Other than that, I mean, there's not much there to really go off of. The art style looks amazing, and I can't wait to see what it actually looks like. And with what we saw today, it looks like graphics aren't going to be a problem on Xbox One for them to show this game off with really good detail. Unless y'all, I mean, I just, there's not much there.
I like that. It's obviously going to have Japanese influence with concept behind it, but we're also going to see, more Western style development with Armature behind it. So hopefully we'll get a similar like fusion to like what we got with say like Lost Planet, as far as being something players like us could get more into instead of just hardcore Japanese, So that's pretty exciting to me. Maybe Scalebound will be offered the same type of qualities,
Yeah, possible. Any thoughts, Michael?
Gameplay, gotta see that to make a call, man.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. I'm more excited about the people behind it than what I've seen from the game so far, So should be interesting though.
I think that's a fair comment. But as far as teaser trailers go, it looked intriguing. I mean, because it's not like sort of Scalebound or stuff last year where they announced it and then it was like, oh, they've announced it, but we have no idea when it's coming, and a year later we still haven't seen it. I think hopefully we'll see it at Gamescom and we'll sort of have a bit better of an idea of what it actually is.
Right.
So. Okay, so after that, Mikey Barra of the platform team turned up and announced Xbox 360 backwards compatibility.
And the world exploded.
And the world exploded. So it's sort of native on your Xbox One. It's not.
All right, quick question. Is this just like certain games for people that haven't watched?
Okay, so they said there's an initial list of games, which I can run through if you want. And then
18
they said
games, yeah.
Yeah, and then I think they said, didn't they say 100?
Before the end of the year.
And then didn't they say another 100 next year or something? Early next year? It sounded like it will be done how they did it on Xbox 360, yeah. So they, got the stage.
But they did say the thing is it's a developer thing, so they can't just put up third-party games even if they do work perfectly. They have to wait for the developers to say, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
But apparently all the tools are there, so it's super easy. All they have to do is just agree to it and say, yes, my game can be on it, and bam, it's on it. So it
Which
doesn't.
we already know 3 other ones that are going to be on Rainbow Six 1 and 2 and Fallout 3, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
A little tease for
So
you folks.
it's going to be full preview members. It's going to be up today, as there isn't an update at the moment, but I'm sure they'll. Or it's supposed to appear in your download list if you've got any of the games, or you can probably discs in, and that should work. The initial list of games is Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Battle Block Theater, Defense Grid, Geometry Wars Evolved, Hexic HD, Jetpack Refueled, Cameo Elements of Power, Mass Effect, Perfect Dark Zero, Small Arms, Super Meat Boy, Toy Soldiers Cold War, Viva Pinata, and Viva Pinata Trouble in Paradise.
Now, let me tell you right now, Viva Pinata and Viva Pinata Trouble in Paradise, some of the best games ever made today. All right, they're amazing, and if you haven't played them, you need to. They're fucking great, and the fact that I'm gonna be able to play them on my Xbox One, I can already tell you what I'm doing for Relapse Friday. I can already tell you right now, because I've put in thousands of hours into Viva Pinata because it's such a good game. I've broken pinatas. All right, I've broken pinatas, and that's the reason Halo and Viva Pinata have that crossover when you fucking kill a grunt and shoot him with a headshot. And you hear, yay! That's where that's from. It's from Viva Pinata, and it's fucking great.
But there was one thing we didn't announce about. Talk about it that they announced. Screenshots will work within the 360 games,
Yes,
as well as streaming and game DVR.
Yes.
So we can do our Relapse Fridays on our Xbox Ones.
Yes.
That's pretty
and
cool.
that is fucking epic. I mean, out of anybody everybody will tell you, with PS3 and 360 games, you're kind of like, man, I got to get an Elgato, and I got to do this, and I got to make this work, and I want to do a speed run, or I want to play. Here's a big game, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. The fighting game community loves that game. It's on the 360. That gets ported. Well, I guess accepted.
That might
to
be a
Xbox
hard
One.
one to do.
Yeah, but
do you think they can work around the issues since it's?
Depends on the input lag.
It depends. Yeah, but if let's just say, for benefit of the doubt, it works, that is massive. Because people will be able to Twitch stream it. They'll be able to record their stuff.
It's really cool, yeah.
Yeah.
If it was possible for fighting in tournaments to run Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Third Strike,
all on Xbox One,
all on one console alongside having KI,
they'll choose that, yeah.
They could choose it. I mean,
yeah.
It opens up the possibilities.
Only Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is really the one that they would actually do it for, because people tend to go with arcade machines for if they're going to do a Third Strike tournament or something, and that's kind of out of Capcom's control right now because Disney was like, you can't update the game anymore. So when they purchased Marvel, so that's a big hope that I'm pretty sure the Marvel vs. Capcom players just went, wait a second, what? That might help them out. It might.
Because it gets into a weird situation. Does this count as republishing, or not?
Right.
Or is it just a title update for the 360 that's being ran? It's weird. It's very uneven ground, uneasy ground. I could see where the legal issue is going to be like, well, you're not. It's running on another console, so it's republishing. But I just think for old fighting games that run really well on the 360, that this could be a game changer if they can get it to run right, and B, to actually get them to make it work. Because there's a lot of fighting games you just don't see move on to the next generation. But yeah, Vern, you're right. Having all the Xbox One features right behind it is fucking
Friends
awesome.
list right there. I mean, that's huge. Because the reason I don't even play my 360 a lot of the time is because I don't feel like being disconnected from what I'm doing on my Xbox One. So that could change things, Hopefully they bring Dragon Age. I mean, they already have Mass Effect, so that makes me assume that we're going to see a lot of those BioWare games eventually get brought over too. So
yeah,
could be a way for us to play Gears of War 2, 3, and Judgment as well if they're not intending to.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Do
we really need it? Do we need the remasters now? I don't know.
You can get that Horde mode fix.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And remember, if you bought Gears of War Judgment, you got a copy of Gears of War 1 already digitally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Judgment itself was on Games with Gold.
Yeah.
So after Xbox 360 backwards compatibility, we had a Fallout 4 demo by Todd Howard, and they showed a little bit more of the sort of gameplay at the end with a few other sort of characters. And the big announcements were that mods from PC will be available on Xbox One, and also that a Fallout 3 game token of the Xbox 360 version will be included for 90 days after launch.
Okay.
The first 90 days.
That's really
so
cool.
That's quite cool. So obviously that means the backwards compatibility, as we said earlier, was coming for Fallout 3 as well, which is good.
All right, let's take one massive step back. Mods are going to be supported.
Yes,
the Xbox
from
One
PC.
version from PC. That is fucking insane. That is like one of the biggest fucking things that people love about Fallout.
Won't be graphics mods, probably. At least none.
I could see like tree or what, maybe a tree mod, like just. But I don't.
Things that affect performance big time though might not be brought over.
Like weapon mods and character skins. At the end of the day, it's probably going to be approved by Bethesda, which is fine with me. I would rather. I would rather that be how a lot of this stuff happens.
Right.
If developers and mod creators could work together to make like official mod releases, you would see better development practice overall. But that's my own little thing.
I liked that Fallout 3 was included as well. Anyway, I'm going to get ready to play that. So I'm hoping that they put the backwards compatibility in there soon, and then I can just play it on Xbox One.
Yeah, that brings up a good point. Yeah, they announced so many 360 games that are just like, yeah, and it's coming with that game too. Like, yeah, you're just going to get it. It's just going to be there.
So they've obviously got a plan. I hope they give us an idea of what that plan is. But we'll see. After Fallout, they had EA Access on stage. Peter Moore turned up and announced that Titanfall was, I think, as we saw yesterday, is now on EA Access. The one game that they said wouldn't be on EA Access. And later in the summer, Dragon Age Inquisition will be on EA Access, which is pretty cool.
Less than a year later. That's nuts.
This week until the 22nd of June is a free week of EA Access even for those who don't have it. So that's quite cool. So if you wanna give it a try, I think subscriptions are up for people who got it day one in a couple of months anyway. So Madden will be playable on the 20th of August, Madden 16. And the other thing was they showed a gameplay trailer of Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2.
Yes.
Oh, it was just they had so much fun with it. That's what you want developers to show when they make even just a trailer, is that we're having fun making this come along for the ride.
Yeah.
So
the music playing in the background was fucking awesome for the whole thing.
Okay, so next up was Forza Motorsport 6. I'm sure Dustin will probably be able to say much more than I can, but it was September 15th is the date for that. Dustin, you're a big car guy.
I like how I'm a big car guy. All right. Where to start?
It was awesome.
It looked fucking gorgeous. It is now confirmed to be 1080p, 60 frames per second.
With weather and and night. Well, daytime, nighttime driving. Yeah.
Yes. More cars on track, and Jason made me run into
24.
Yeah, it's gonna be 24 cars on track. Made me run into the room. Let me tell you, that game looks fucking fantastic in motion.
It does look really good.
Like, it looks really fucking good, and that's a lot of fucking cars. And you know what? Even if the day to night cycle's not, like, it's not gonna slowly do it while you race, the clarity of those cars and the visuals you're getting with the amount of cars at a pure 60 frames per second, anybody bitches about that needs to be shot.
Well, it doesn't need dynamic weather and also time of day, because when you do a Forza Motorsport race, the thing's over in 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, you're not going fucking an hour or
It's
two.
right. It's different than Forza Horizon, where you want the time of day to change, you want the weather to constantly change because you're constantly racing. You know, um, with motorsport, it's going to change per race, which is fine. I don't have an issue with that at all.
But yes, it looks. I don't know how to say it anymore. It looks fucking stunning. It is going to probably be one of the. I can't say that anymore. I can't. I was going to say one of the best looking games. It is going to be one of the best looking games, but Halo 5 really stood out to me. Like, that game looked fucking great. The skyboxes, the color, the amount of shit going on. It's hard for me to go that Turn 10 is going to look. But that game looks so fucking good also. Because when you see 24 cars like make a right turn in Forza, you're just like, your jaw drops to the floor. It looks fucking insane. And you know what? That's kind of been my whole big thing this whole conference. We've gone from one insanely great looking game to another. Like, nothing's really stood there to me and went, like everything's been pretty much like jaw dropping. And Forza's no exception.
Yeah, it looks fantastic, and I'm gonna be getting that day one.
And
Looks like it's on the store already.
I don't think it's going to compromise. I think you're going to get a steady 60 frames per second no matter what. Which, that's what Turn 10 does. All right, Steve.
Next up, the announcement trailer for Dark Souls 3, which is going to be releasing in spring 2016. Apparently it's the last one in the saga. So it's on Xbox One and also PlayStation 4 and PC.
It's a cool CG trailer. They showed the tutorial boss, it looked like. Well, that was the joke anyway. It was CG. Dark Souls.
Pretty much, yeah. Not much you can get from it.
I hate to put it that way, but we didn't see any in-game graphics. It's a Dark Souls game.
Pretty.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Okay, after that was Ubisoft came on stage to bring up The Division, which is a game Microsoft seem heavily invested in.
Yes.
The beta will be first on Xbox One this December. And
It looked good.
well, it you could actually tell that that
was
was kind
gameplay.
of what it was actually going to look like.
Yeah.
So, and then after that they showed Rainbow Six Siege, and the main thing there was they announced that Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2 would be backwards compatible on Xbox One and would include download tokens for them both for free with Rainbow Six Siege. So that's you can get your big Rainbow Six fix if you like.
Yep.
How much of this kind of thing do you think we're going to see in the future? Like,
Probably for the next year or two.
yeah.
'Cause
That's a really good bonus to get the older games for free from 360 with the new games.
Yeah.
The thing is, what they need to do is they need to give you the download codes
A month before.
or even like
when you pre-order them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if the backwards compatibility is done and the games are able to buy or play or something, then they should just say, if you pre-order it on the store, here's your game. If you go into like GameStop or something, pre-order. Oh, hey, here's your Rainbow Six codes.
I don't think.
Vegas
I
codes.
think they'll only
Not
do it
GameStop,
for.
yeah.
It'll only be done for Xbox
You can
Live
return it.
specific in the online store.
Mm.
Especially, think about Amazon. You don't have to put any money down.
Right.
Yeah.
You could just fucking bam. I got a Fallout 3. No.
Wait, do you think this is how they might end up doing the Quantum Break Alan Wake thing?
That was always the suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that hopefully they will do it so at Gamescom it'll be like, hey, what's releasing in Gamescom? Alan Wake Remastered. Pre-order it off the store, play Alan Wake straight away.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that would be a really cool way of doing it. So I mean, it's a nice pre-order incentive. We've seen Fallout, Rainbow Six is going to do it. Other games are going to do it. It seems. It's a good move, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like it's such a small. Nobody has to really develop anything, but we also get something free, and hopefully, if they do it right, then we'll get to play stuff early.
Well, like what you were saying earlier, maybe when you are able to pre-order Gears of War 4, they'll give you codes for 2 and 3 and Judgment.
Yep. very possible.
And that's how you get every Gears on the console, along with the Gears 1 remaster,
Yep.
So.
So next up, we saw a trailer of Gigantic by Motiga. The beta hits in August 2015. It's actually already in PC Alpha, so they'll just be sort of moving all that up, and it'll be playable on Xbox One. I thought it looked quite good. I like the art style. I don't really know if it's my kind of game, but it did look really, really nice in motion.
I agree.
Okay, next up was the Idea Xbox section. They showed the sizzle reel, which had a ton of games such as Below, The Flame and the Flood, was it the Solus Project, which is the Grip Games one. Big montage. They put them all up on Xbox.com YouTube account just beforehand. But the 4 sort of big games that they showed off were Tacoma by the Fulbright Company, which
made Gone Home, yeah.
Yep. Ashen. I can't remember who the developers some of these are.
Something 44, if I remember correctly.
Beyond Eyes, and then Cuphead from Studio
MCHP.
MDHR.
MDHR. Yeah.
Yep. So I thought, I like the whole space thing in Tacoma. So that's really interesting. And Ashen looked quite interesting as well. They look like good trailers, and I think the game that people most liked was Cuphead. Really, like people are crazy for that.
Yeah, it looks insane.
I like the third one, the one about being a blind person and like how sounds can shape how you see the world. Right, that conceptually is a really interesting thing. I want to see more of it, but it really pushes to the limit of what you think about what a game is. So that'll be interesting to see more as it moves along. But yeah, Cuphead. I've watched way too much like Tom and Jerry and Bugs Bunny not to play that game the second it comes out.
And then after that, they announced the Xbox game previews, which is basically Xbox One early access. And they announced 4 titles. I'll be honest, I've only got 2 of them. Elite Dangerous, which will be playable this evening in beta, and another one will be DayZ, but which I think will be later on. But also all the games that are in this sort of early access state will have demos, which I think is so that people can try
before you buy.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is try before you buy for early access even. So it's like this is definitely a case where if you buy this game, you bought an early access game.
Yeah.
Admit it or get fucked. Plain and simple.
Yeah, no, I think you'll see Microsoft. I think you'll see the returns policy show up a little bit more like how Steam does it. Like just
Gears Ultimate Edition is full price.
What's full price? Sorry.
Gears Ultimate Edition.
$60. Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
No one's gonna buy it.
Exactly. Compared to MCC. Yes. Well, we'll talk about more when we get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apart from Elite Dangerous and DayZ, the other 2 games that will be in this early access program are Sheltered and The Long Dark. Sheltered, I believe I backed that on Kickstarter for PC. But I think there's been like some sort of apocalyptic event, and you're sort of in a shelter, and you're sort of running the shelter and all that sort of thing. But yeah, and I think Elite Dangerous and The Long Dark will be up today. If you're in the pre-order program, you can sign up for that and try things as well. So that's quite interesting. Afterwards, Dean Hall, who made DayZ, then announced his new game, Ion, which is like a space MMO for Xbox One and PC. A bit of a betrayal ton, actually, considering he announced DayZ for PlayStation 4 last year and didn't actually say Xbox at all anywhere. So, yeah, did anybody have any thoughts on this new game?
It didn't look like anything.
No,
it looks,
I mean, that was...
it was
a game.
Like
you build stuff and it explodes. That's all I got from it.
I mean, who knows? I
It
like his accent.
looks like Spore. on the level of like what they're trying to do versus what it seems like it's actually going to be. So, yeah,
I'm
it's not a
interested
good
to see
sign.
what it turns into.
Mhm.
But
Yeah. Okay, so after the Idea Xbox section, we then saw Rise of the Tomb Raider, which will be launching
Ah,
on Xbox One November 10th, the same day as Fallout.
that's a terrible date. That's an absolutely terrible date.
I
But
thought they were going to go like early October, but
But if they bundle it, which there's a very good chance we'll see bundles. But if it comes out on the 10th, that means it'll be ready for bundles before Black Friday.
mm,
So
Maybe we'll see one of them get pushed.
yeah,
Maybe.
yeah, I
yeah, I
doubt
mean,
it.
yeah, I think
I
that
agree, but
they do have like an extra. Don't they have like an extra couple of weeks until Black Friday? So you
Yeah,
might see one of them shift a week, which
it's
because
a week and a couple days
yeah,
yeah.
at
So the
that
thing is, I
point.
mean, Microsoft have got marketing for both, well, for Fallout and obviously Tomb Raider's on Xbox.
yeah.
So, I think if they did, because Fallout's a big game. I mean, there were 500,000 people watching that Twitch stream for Bethesda yesterday.
They're
It's
not
like
moving it. Yeah, Fallout's done.
7 or 8 million people watched the announced trailer in like the first day. They really need to get a Fallout bundle out there as well.
yeah,
But Fallout's gonna come on that date. If anything's gonna be delayed for a
It'll
week,
be Tomb
it
Raider.
would be Tomb Raider. Yeah,
Yeah.
Fallout's
So
not moving.
yeah. But no, I mean, Tomb Raider looked really good. It was, they're trying to sort of show this sort of section, the snow and ice, and it looked very nice. Lyra
It
actually
looks really
looks like
good.
Mila Luddington now.
Yeah, her face looked so much better. And the motion capture on the face looked incredible compared to the previous ones. So
Yep.
I liked all
And
the details too. Like just like the footprints in the snow looked good. They didn't just look like cheesy footprints that were put there as like almost, just on a whim. And plus, her legs digging down into the snow. Like all that detail was nice. Particle effects were great too.
yeah.
yeah. And I assume that we'll see more of it at the Square Enix conference tomorrow,
Hmm.
which they might show something a bit more actiony with, like guns and stuff.
Maybe we learn if multiplayer's in it too there.
Yeah, I forgot about
Hmm.
that. Okay, so next up was you could call it a renaissance.
Yeah.
You just had to say it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I've had that one stored up a long time. And so what they announced was a big collection of games.
30 to be specific.
Yep, 30 games for Xbox One across the sort of very early stuff.
All the way up to
From-
their latest release on 360 and View and Pinata 2.
Yep. Do we want the whole list, or should I not do the whole list?
There's a lot of games. People can look it up, but it's it's like Banjo and Kazooie is like a big one that stands out, right? Because people really love that. But they
It's
didn't have
all
like
it's all three too.
Mhm. It's $30, which is the most insane part. 10,000 gamer score as well. So
10,000 gamer score. Yeah, I mean, I'll pick this. The highlights for me, I'm interested in sort of Conker, Blast Corps. Yeah, quite like to play Cameo again. I've still got it, but Sable Wolf. Yeah, Jet Force Gemini. So
Viva Pinatas, Cameo, yeah.
it's the games that I didn't play from the N64 era, I suppose, are the most important to me.
Hmm.
So and there's there's so many games that I didn't necessarily even know that they actually owned as well, which is interesting.
The thing is, they could
I
have
think the only-
charged 60 for all this.
they could have
Easily.
charged $5 per game.
Yeah,
in some
easy.
cases.
Yeah. So I think the only games that have been omitted were Conquer Reloaded, possibly. I don't know. Grab by the Goalies in a bit. It could be to do with Xbox Live multiplayer not being there, and then some of their Game Boy Advance games, but that's not necessarily a surprise. But yeah, I mean that's cool. It's a big collection. You can play everything. It's a great price. It's out on the 5th of August.
Or
4th of
4th?
August.
Yeah.
Yep, it's out on the 4th of August. After the collection, they then showed their new AAA IP called Sea of Thieves, which is a shared world sort of action adventure game based on pirates. They called it an epic multiplayer adventure. It's for Xbox One and PC.
Some are calling it an MMO though, right?
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
a shared world game, so it's probably like
Probably
Destiny.
like Destiny, yeah.
oh god.
Hey, how Destiny does shared world stuff is really good.
Yeah, and that's the whole 4 versus 4 on 2 pirate ships. That looked badass. You gotta admit. That looks
But
really
you
cool.
have no idea how exactly that's going to turn out. You have no idea what like the number of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we need to see more about it. But it, the art style was nice. It looked interesting. Thing is, it's obviously what Rare want to make. I mean,
Uh-huh.
at the end, people used to talk about how they were sort of forced to make Connect stuff, which they've always kind of denied. But this seems to, if that's what they want to do, then I'm quite happy that they're doing what they want to do.
And this is the kind of game Microsoft is good at. They're good at multiplayer. I mean, they're proven in multiplayer at Microsoft Studios. So that plus Rare actually making what they want to make. That's a good combination.
Yeah. So as I said, the art style looked nice. The whole pirate adventure, it did look interesting.
Graphics look good.
So I mean, it was obviously in-game stuff. I wonder, they didn't offer any form of release date. So I wonder if that's sort of
Pretty far off, yeah.
holiday 16. Well, I suppose if it was, they'd have probably said 2016, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
So it
I don't
seemed like it's
mind.
soon.
I'm waiting for. I just want to see more because it just looks like a fun experience.
Now, do we see anything else from Rare at Gamescom that's new from today, or like new announcements? Do we see maybe a Unity game? Because that didn't happen. Or is Unity being used for menus and stuff like that for the...
Well, the thing is that they did, when Simon Woodruff, the creative director at Rare, said that they were, when someone asked, when are we going to see your new games, he said E3 and beyond. So
Right.
I wasn't expecting him to. And the thing is, it makes sense because they announced two things here. They announced the Rare Replay collection and the new game. So that
Sea of Thieves, yeah.
the collection is going to be out the week before. I believe it's the week before Gamescom.
So maybe that's Banjo? Maybe? Unity?
Banjo Unity. I mean, there was rumors, and the thing is, there was a rumor of an N64 remake, but given the collection, I doubt that.
Yeah.
But I mean, so can we assume that this is what the Battletoads teasers were about?
Possibly.
In which case,
Well, it also came before the Shovel Knight stuff, the Battletoads tease. So he pulls out a Battletoads shirt, shows up at the Shovel Knight thing from the Windows 10 conference or whatever, and then it shows up again in the collection. So maybe that's all the Battletoads is. I don't know.
Yeah, could be. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, as I said, Rare obviously do what they want to do, and that's great. And it's good. They've got a new logo, which is not kind of like that.
It's retro,
rebrands
yeah.
that they had. Yeah, it looks good. I'm excited for their future. After Rare, we saw Fable Legends trailer.
We saw new environments too. It's looking good.
Yeah, and it had the voiceover was Cersei from Game of Thrones.
And we saw a different villain. All the previous stuff we've seen has only been that male villain. And now we saw a female villain. So maybe there's two villain storylines or two villain characters you can choose to be, which is pretty cool. And we also got a release date. Well, a release window. Holiday 2015.
I was expecting like an open beta this summer, but that's obviously too early. I reckon if they're not being specific enough as it is, I reckon it's going to slip to next year.
I think it's going to be open beta this holiday. Is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's how they'll get around it.
So I know you and Dustin, I don't know about Michael, were in it, the beta, but you can't say anything, so I won't press you for more on Fable Legends. After that, I think Dustin was a big fan of this. HoloLens.
HoloLens looked fucking awesome on Minecraft. We still have no idea what the fucking field of view is.
It looks small from what we were seeing.
Yeah, and HoloLens is going to be out next week. So
we don't know what the field of view is, but what he was doing was pretty fucking epic.
It was.
The idea that you could just sit there and with voice commands, just zoom in, zoom out, lock onto that player, and just be able to snap everything, just kind of like pop, 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 and the idea that it would it scales to the table you're in front of is pretty fucking awesome. So if you're at a big, I don't know, like how would you do it on like a big dining room table? I mean, there has to be a certain point you would think it would stop, or I don't know. But you would figure it's going to be as big as at least like a normal coffee table that you're going to be sit there, look at, your whole world pops up, you can zoom into it, or just be like an overlord of like if you're on the top of a server and people are like bullshitting around in it and you're just standing above it, like deciding what's going to happen and like directing people. They showed markers that you could put down as the HoloLens player. I think this is all PC based and not console based Minecraft though. But I think this is something we're gonna have to wait for maybe Gamescom, maybe later to see exactly what this integration is. Because they showed it, but they didn't really explain it too much.
I think this is the last you're going to see of it for a while, to be honest. Right? This is just like a wet your whistle, and we're going to spend a lot of time developing it now. It's just like there's just so much about that could go very, very wrong. That the idea that they're done with that and they're going to show it again soon just seems kind of weird to me. I mean, I get you might have your hopes up for it, but I don't think so. I think they're going to spend a lot more time before they show us this stuff again.
Well, I think you're wrong, and I think they're going to show all kinds of stuff, Michael, and it's going to be amazing. And no, but I mean, let's be honest. They talked about this coming out in like in the next 18 months. They're going to have to start showing off what this fucking thing can do. And Minecraft is their big $2.5 billion purchase for this device. So if anything's going to show it off, it's going to be Minecraft. So we're going to have to see more. Now, it'll probably be at a HoloLens specific event and not a Xbox event, not Gamerside or Gamescom or anything like that. Maybe Gamescom. But it's going to be more specifically for HoloLens going, hey, look at what you can do. Check out more detail about Minecraft, more detail about games. But that's later down the line. But it's not going to be... I don't think you're going to have to wait too much longer to get more detail about it. Because they're going to want to start pushing these on people.
I was surprised that all they had for Minecraft at the conference was HoloLens. I mean, not that it isn't a big thing, but I was expecting something like dedicated servers or
I agree.
Or something that they because
we're gonna get crossplay, which is what they made obvious with this though, because she was playing on a tablet and he was playing on the HoloLens.
Oh, that's a fair point.
So that means we're gonna get some type of Windows 10 crossplay based on what I've seen.
Here's the catch. The tablet, I'm not sure about HoloLens, but the tablet runs off Java.
Uh-huh.
The Xbox version, no Java at all, was completely rewritten for Xbox.
So was this a new code?
That's the big question. Because if the tablet is an all-new code that's running on Windows 10 and has nothing to do with Java, that would be huge for the PC gaming community. Because
I think it's happening.
Everybody hates fucking Java at this point. Nobody wants to continue to use it. You still have people that with the world seeds that need to find a way to make Java work without actually having Java for the world seeds. But other than that, like Java, like nobody wants to use it. It's awful.
The thing is, if they do that, they need to make their own toolkit that everyone can use that is cross-platform.
Yeah.
That way people can do all the mods they want to do,
But at, what is it, Minecon? I think that's where we're going to see more of it.
Well, yeah, she said in 2 weeks.
Yeah, so
yeah,
like, their
so
big
that
thing,
could be...
That's going to be big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that would make, I suppose that would make sense if, that's where your sort of core Minecraft audience is. And it spreads things out, it gives it its own time. Perhaps E3 isn't really the place where they'll talk about Minecraft too much. I mean, it'll obviously be there, but, perhaps they'll feel that, because Minecraft is this behemoth, that it needs its own
there's another time that they could display Minecraft, and that's at the PC conference. I mean, fundamentally, Minecraft is a PC
that's true.
game.
We're not remembering that PC conference is coming with announcements still.
Yeah,
and we also have the 3 shows that are going to be an hour and a half each. So there's all sorts of places we can see new things.
But I think it's I don't think it's the PC conference. It could be, but I don't think it is. I think it's Minecon. I think that's But Minecraft 2 is something they will show at E3. It's something they can trumpet and be like, hey, fuck everybody, we have Minecraft 2 because we own it.
Right.
But and it'll say PC, Xbox exclusive, Minecraft 2. But like for an update where they completely get rid of Java from Minecraft, that's either Minecon or the PC conference, and I think it's Minecon.
Oh, sorry, forgive me if you did mention this, but how would getting rid of Java affect mods?
Mods,
render them completely useless, right?
First, it would completely destroy all mods.
Yeah.
But here's the issue with mods already. Every time Minecraft releases an update to their Java, it completely destroys all mods.
Okay.
So this would actually add a stability to Minecraft where Microsoft could update it and allow mods to continue from version to version. Because right now, Minecraft on PC, once that new version comes out, it is literally a struggle for every single modder to sit there and redo everything to make it work.
Yeah.
And that's why you see servers of different versions in Minecraft.
I mean, could it be that perhaps they try and take some of the most popular mods and kind of build them in themselves, not to take away from what other people are doing, but so that's kind of a feature.
No, I get your point, but I don't think you do that, because the original promise and vision of Minecraft was always to allow the community to have community-supported mods, and Mojang has never been able to do that. And when everybody was hoping, once Microsoft bought them, that this might be the turning point where mods would actually really work and take off without having to redo it every couple weeks because they pop out a new version of the game. But, I mean, it's still all hearsay. It's one of those, we can speculate all day. But, it's Minecraft, so we will speculate all day.
Okay, so something that was actually mentioned slightly before the Minecraft thing was actually a VR deal with Valve. So they talked about the controller.
Yeah, it was just kind of tossed off too.
And and they did they specifically say what the partnership was, or just
no?
This is
had a partnership.
Let me tell you what the partnership is. I could tell you already. Microsoft is going to put Valve's drivers in every copies of Windows 10, and that way, when you put in your Valve VR, your Oculus Rift, whatever, it just works. And it's a partnership. It's not like going to be. It's not going to be what with Oculus
at the PC conference.
Yeah, it's going to be more just driver based, I think. I don't think it'll be like what they're doing with Oculus. Or they would have announced like, "Hey, you'll be able to play Xbox One games on your Valve fucking headset." Like, we didn't get that. All we got was there's a partnership. It's coming. But I think that's more of a Windows 10 announcement than it is an Xbox announcement.
I mean, the thing is that it could pave the way for the Valve VR and Oculus on Xbox. I mean, not necessarily Xbox One, but there is that video of them with Oculus Rift on and Xbox One with cloud compute.
Yeah.
But perhaps they'll turn around and say, hey, well, seeing as how Xbox and PC are slowly, well, not slowly, with Windows 10 and DX12 are becoming a merged thing, they'll just say, you know what, you can pick whichever one you want. And the other thing is that I'll say that this Valve partnership, 100% guarantee you, is the precursor to something else to do with one or more of their core games.
Could be.
So next up was the big finale. So they announced Gears of War Ultimate Edition, 1080p 60s, out the 25th of August. It is going to be $60, by the way, for those that haven't seen.
Well, no, that hasn't been confirmed yet, right?
It has been confirmed.
It's on the Amazon page.
That doesn't confirm anything.
That's not confirmation.
Yeah, that doesn't confirm anything.
I've seen people, well, as far as I can tell on my Twitter, people have been lighting up that it's $60.
If the dev comes out and says 60, I'm going to completely be with you. But just because it's Amazon says it, everybody's just going to jump on. Hey, Amazon said it; it has to be true.
What if it's $60, but they include Gears 2 and 3 and Judgment with backward compatibility on the 360?
Yeah,
that's entirely possible.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
No. I understand.
Check there. Yeah. The other thing is that this wasn't made clear in the conference, as far as I can tell, but the Gears of War Ultimate Edition does come with the Gears of War 4 beta.
Yeah.
Which will be coming in 2016. So.
And you know what else? They were kind of fuzzy on. It looks like it's only multiplayer that's going to be 60 frames per second. But they kept saying 60 frames per second multiplayer. They never referred to the single player as 60 frames per second. Because he said 1080p, 60 frames per second in multiplayer.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see 30 frames per second for single player.
Do you think that's going to be the same for Gears 4 as well?
Yes, I think that's the direction they're going.
So moving on from Gears of War Ultimate Edition into Gears 4. So if they didn't say who the threat was, but they seemed like some sort of mutated sort of beasts. The main character was called JD, and there was a female companion with him.
Only two people.
Yeah,
Which
so
is
there was
strange.
2 people.
Well, that leaves room for the others to come back.
Yeah, because at this point, let's be honest, it's not going to be a prequel because where did all these beasts go? You know,
Yeah,
why
exactly.
would they just instantly all disappear? I think
Why have we heard of them yet? Even
yeah. So it has to be a sequel of some sort.
Yeah. Well, they said it was an epic new saga, which
3
suggested.
games.
Yeah.
So we
yeah.
figure that like the locusts changed. Like maybe there was a mutated one that survived or something weird. That
Well, they
causes
didn't
them to
look
get
like
through.
locusts, though.
No, but like they're
It's
gonna have
some
to get
kind
to
of
that
hive
village.
mind type thing, though, because you saw all the tentacles and tubes and things. Like it looked like they were all connected to each other in some way.
Hey guys, one second. I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But at least that's kind of what I got from it.
Considering
Yeah.
the level of technology of the armor and stuff like that, like look at the weapons. That looks like the Lancer Mark II at the very least.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was Gears 1 or Gears 2, 3 era where it was 50 or 60 rounds because we never really saw it go through a whole clip. It looked like 50. But they didn't have full armor sets. It's like they had the chest armor, but
Yeah, but
like,
light.
they were wearing like pants, not like
Yeah.
armored pants. So when this takes place is something that I want to know.
Well, they're calling it
But-
Gears 4, so it is after for sure.
Yeah.
They wouldn't call it Gears 4 otherwise, I think.
Yeah.
So at this point, we really just
Yeah.
Granted, it's launching holiday next year, so
Right, it's a long
they
way
got
off.
they got a year and a half to go through it. But it
Graphics look good, though.
It looked incredible. The weather
Yeah.
effects,
Oh, yeah, the trees moving
Dude.
in the wind and everything. It looked really
the
good.
lightning, that tornado,
The lighting, yeah, looked good too.
so gory too. Couldn't be happier. I'm a huge Gears of War fan, so
And it looked to
Yep.
play like Gears. I mean, when they showed the zooming in and everything, it looked
mhm.
like it should. So,
Lancer sounded like the Lancer, man. Chainsaw worked like the chainsaw. I used it to open a door.
and I imagine it'll only get better looking and as it goes on, because they're not showing like what they think it should look like and then downgrading it like we've seen in the past with Ubisoft.
No cinematic trailer. It was just
It
gameplay.
it was running on an Xbox. It didn't look like it was on like some fancy PC or anything like that. So that was nice to see them do it that way.
Yep. I mean, I was quite excited that when he sort of handed him the controller, and it looked good. It did seem like it did have that darker tone. They had like flashlights on their lancers.
Yeah, they're going back to Gears 1.
So yeah, I yeah. But
Well, and this looks like the first time they were even seeing these new monsters or something, right? Because
possibly.
when he saw the pod, she was like, "Don't touch it," and he was looking at it like, "I'd never seen this. I wonder what happens if I touch it." So, my idea is that this is going to be a new threat, and they will not have seen it before the game started. We're going to see the very beginning of it instead of jumping right into the action like we did with the Locust.
So it's entirely possible it's anywhere from start of E-Day to end of Gears 3, because it definitely looked like E-Day had happened. Like the place looked kind of messed up. So we'll see.
Yeah, but wouldn't we have seen these monsters in the previous games if it started before Gears 3? Like, I don't...
We
No references,
might have,
no nothing.
Because there's still like a 15-year span of time between E-Day and Gears 1. So it could take place in that area.
I don't
doubt it.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're looking at a direct sequel.
Yeah, it's going to be...
Castlevania 2 was a prequel.
No, I understand. I'm just saying it'd be really weird for them to like try to pull off a whole new brand of enemies that are. It can't be any locusts. I mean, if it's Gears 1, I guess they could have Locust.
They're
But
absolutely
it,
locusts.
it's going to be weird to try to justify all these new enemies
It
in a
is,
game.
unless it's in a completely different section where nobody that we've talked to in the Gears otherwise has been, but it's still part of the coalition or government's controlled zones. It has a similar architecture to the area, but the entirety of Sarah was said to have that sort of architecture, except for the Islanders. So
I think it's just going to be set after Gears, and it'd probably be something to do with the emulsion affected, before it all got destroyed.
the emulsion is all gone, dude.
Yeah, but it could have been something that was building up from that or something
It's
else.
like some sort of
I don't know.
mutated thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But the thing is that their armor didn't look like it. It didn't look as rusted and as worn out.
Maybe
did.
maybe it took a while. Maybe that's why we're not seeing characters. Maybe this is like 50 years after Gears 3.
That's
What
entirely possible as
happened
well.
is like some more form of emulsion popped up, started getting on dogs, people, and everything else, and they transformed to
Well, they
become this
better-
new breed of
The
enemy.
issue with that is, if 50 years have gone by, why have the weapons not changed? That looks like a Gears 2 era Mark II Lancer.
But why would the weapons change much in a post-apocalyptic world? Maybe they don't have the tech for those advancements.
Those
Probably
weapons would have
not.
fallen apart.
Yeah.
Those weapons don't last forever. They would
Yeah.
have been using retro Lancers because
Yeah.
those things still worked.
Yeah. My only issue with it taking place after, and maybe too far after, these characters didn't look very interesting to me. That was my biggest issue with this gameplay. The main character looked pretty generic white guy, and the female looked pretty generic kind of
well, it looked
hip
like
lady.
like
you know?
some sort of relative of, or at first I kind of looking at this picture, I thought she was a bit like Sam, but I don't think she is.
Mhm.
But
When I first saw the
You know.
guy, I was like, "Oh, that's Baird." Does he have
Yeah.
he had kind of a flat top?
Yeah.
I reckon
Um,
he's going to end up being the son of Anya and Marcus Phoenix.
Could be, yeah. That's what I
If-
got
if
from
If
it
you
too.
look, 'cause he's kind of got like his features with her hair. Was how I looked at it.
Well,
If that ends up being the case, that'd be pretty cool. Doing Mortal Kombat X thing, that'd be pretty awesome.
I hope they redesign him some more though, or at least make some changes, because he didn't look very iconic in the same way that Marcus Phoenix does. So,
Mm.
I think
He
they
doesn't
need
look
some.
grizzly or something. Like there's a
They-
certain.
There's just nothing you can identify him with. When I saw him, he looked very generic. That was my major issue with that trailer, with that gameplay. Same thing with the female, but she looked a little better. But if it's all new characters, they need to make some crazy characters to go along with this bunch. Otherwise, they're gonna have a hard time with the current fans of the series. Because I mean, we had Coltrane. You need something like that,
It was also only 6 minutes.
Absolutely, absolutely. But these are just my these are the
First-
things that
first,
popped
yeah,
up,
popped
my first
up, yeah,
impressions, and this is my worries. Not saying these worries are even
Justified.
valid,
Yeah, it's just
but
It's like
that's
me-
what I got from it.
it's completely like me with the Doom stuff at Bethesda. It was just like, this looks really good, but that mode being on like God mode, it kind of but it's probably gonna be really fucking good. But the God mode just kind of pulled it. It's you're gonna see that in games. It's you can't hold games against especially on an E3 stage. You gotta give it time. Whew.
I thought
I'm sorry, Steve, but I want to
No,
throw
no.
it out there real quick. If you signed up for the Gears of War beta and trying to get in today, you have to verify your email
Email,
and
yeah.
make sure it didn't. Like, I just found out mine actually went to my junk folder. I had to put it out of the junk and fucking verify it. So go ahead and make sure you
Yeah,
verify
I
your
just
email.
verified mine too.
I just don't want anybody getting left behind, because that's going to be fucking amazing to play some Gears.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all I was going to say was that I thought that is how they should. I mean, the thing is, we knew Gears of War was coming. The fact that they've stuck with 4 at the end doesn't make it some new announced game, but that is how you announce a game. You
Show
turn
game,
around
but yeah.
and say, "Hey guys, this is what it looks like. This is what it plays like." They don't. They didn't give us everything, and that's fine. I can't imagine it will be a Gamescom. To us, I think they'll I mean, perhaps they could have a trailer or something, but I don't think we'll see another gameplay demonstration
until next E3.
Well, the thing is, I mean, if the beta they said it's 2016, I would assume that like Halo, it won't be late 2016. I think it will. If it's early 2016, they could have something like at TGA's or something where they announce the multiplayer and
That's true.
show a trailer. But yeah, I thought that's how you do it. That's how they should do it. And I was excited about how they showed it.
The moon rays look fucking insane. Like,
And for all we know,
maybe.
maybe that scene is some kind of prequel scene that takes place before the actual game takes place.
Yeah.
That could very well be. That could be a younger version of the character we eventually play as. I don't know. I'm really curious where they go with it. They leave a lot of questions out there now.
And they should, because I mean, it's still a year away at the.
That game has always had a
half
degree
away.
of questions to
Yeah,
it that
yeah.
have been left unanswered.
Yeah.
So,
But it's
good on
far
them.
enough away that there are going to be questions, and they're going to have time to answer them. So I'm completely in. I just look. I'm going to put it right now. I do not need 24 players Gears. Don't need it.
No.
Gears
no,
is perfect how it is. Just
12 tops.
make sure you have your
Ever.
horde mode in there, and you have literally just bought everybody. Like, we're ready to go. The Gears Nation is going to love this game. But, just to throw it out there, the UI was extremely small. You could tell it was running at 1080. Like, that UI was very fine and tiny.
Well, the UI was definitely running at 1080p. Maybe not the rendered game,
It was really tiny. Really, really tiny. I was shocked when seeing it. I was like, damn. Maybe they need to talk to the Witcher devs about increasing their font size and everything. Maybe, no. But,
Yeah, possible.
And that dead horse, he just gets louder and louder.
Dead Horse? Huh? No.
Yeah.
No. That game still needs a fucking font boost, and I'm not the only one saying it.
Yeah, what are your grades for the conference? I'm going to give it a A-.
Oh, like I said,
My wallet is fucked out of 10.
that's a good grade.
It's a good one. I like that.
If I had to actually give it a grade, I'd say B+.
B+, yeah.
Like, I really liked it, but I'm going to tell you right now, there was no moment of Tim's prediction of it's going to, like, that hype. Even though I loved everything, there was not that moment. Like,
I think
knew it was
everyone
coming.
just wanted one more thing.
Yeah.
Just one more thing. But I mean, I was still an A- for me. I mean, that backwards compatibility announcement just kind of
That
made it.
really just.
Yeah, that was big.
I'm a harsh critic. I'm sorry. It's a B+, maybe an A-, but it was really fucking good. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it takes. I don't know.
Oh, and the Rare Collection announcement, that was
Yeah,
pretty
so
impressive. 30 games for $30. That's badass.
All right, I'll
Probably
give
the
it an A-.
The best thing of this conference
Gotta give it
was
an A-.
it was just games. A little bit of HoloLens, not too much. It never felt like that could have maybe kind of dragged on too much in some people's opinions, but it proved that it works. It's just we need to make it work even better.
And it's very different than what we're probably going to see from Sony later tonight. We're going to see
Absolutely.
they have 20 games in development, or not in development, 20 games like just about ready apparently. You know, that are far along for Morpheus.
Which,
So they're going to show a lot of Morpheus tonight.
we're gonna have to. Oh my god, I just don't know how to take it, because me and you've always been skeptical, Vern, about VR.
Well, imagine the Minecraft section we saw. Make that like
An
half hour to
long?
45 minutes of that show
Or more.
or more. Yeah. That could be
No, but I think this is what I'm gonna give. I'm gonna give Sony the benefit of the doubt. I think there's gonna be games on Project Morpheus that you didn't think was possible on a PS4
possibly.
on Project Morpheus. I don't think Uncharted. I think that's too good looking to do. But maybe something else. I'm not sure yet.
I could see them porting Killzone Shadowfall.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe. Keyword is maybe.
I just like looking at the specs that Oculus Rift gave to developers for what you're going to need for an Oculus Rift, which is also a 1080p device, which is a 980. I just don't see the PS4 being able to compete with something like that on the graphics front. I don't care if that fucker is, dedicated hardware and they only have to code once and da 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 da. There's only so much the PS4 can do, and
I agree.
but I still think that you're going to get a surprise. Like, oh my god, I can't believe that game looks that good.
Yeah.
On the Project Morpheus, but you're still going to get that screen door effect. But
Yeah.
who cares?
But I was just saying, like in comparison to that, like it was really nice to see. It really was a games focus again, even though there was a lot of fear mongering that it's going to be all HoloLens, it's going to be maybe Oculus is going to be on stage,
I have no idea where that shit would possibly come from.
Well, okay, so Oculus showed up for maybe 10 seconds with the Valve announcement, so that was probably about 40 seconds long.
Mm-hmm.
We
like
had
7 or 8 minutes on Minecraft.
About HoloLens, about 7-8 minutes, which is what we expected.
What I would expect, exactly.
Yeah,
but they didn't even spend any time on Windows 10 at all, really. So
the only thing they did was
say that they had another demo coming about a new experience or something. So I see.
That's the GameSpot thing that's coming up.
So perhaps So perhaps
Wait, what?
something to do with that.
The GameSpot is where they're going to show the new UI potentially.
Well,
you're talking about the Major Nelson show.
No, on GameSpot they've got a demo, an operating system demo.
Oh, I didn't know that. When's that coming up?
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Today, maybe?
And Phil Spencer at the end of the show, when he was talking about Gamescom and new announcements, said that they've got a new experience to show, and I assume that they were referring to the GameSpot thing.
Right. Well, that'd be great to see. It's too bad the show wasn't like 2 hours, and they could have spent some time on the Windows 10 preview stuff.
Yeah. If I could say one thing, I think is that the show felt very compressed, and that they definitely were going through it with a good clip.
Especially
they do.
Especially
maybe they don't need to do that, but
especially with the indie stuff.
A bit too long on, like, they showed a lot of the Fallout stuff again, which they didn't need to do. Talking about Minecraft, like they could have
shortened. They could have shortened Fallout. They could have shortened Minecraft, and maybe done an actual race of Forza, so we could see more what it looks like on the stage. You know, that would have been nice.
I haven't given my grade yet, so. Dustin, you said about being a harsh critic. I think I'm going to be a bit harsher. I think I'm going to go
C minus.
No.
You give it a B.
I'm between a B and a B minus. I think a B is probably fairer because the backwards compatibility thing's great. The rare play is great. The games that they did show looks great. Recall looks interesting. Vern, I'm all about the new IPs. That's my stuff.
Look, I just want to throw it there to everybody. Steve's opinion cannot be trusted because he didn't get enough of his predictions true, and he has a slanted opinion. If he would have hit like 90 of his predictions, he would have gave it an A+. But he's fallen short on those million predictions.
But the thing is that when I look at the show and he talked about talked about first party games, and they did show first party games, but they only announced two new exclusive games. They were both new IPs, to be fair. Gears, if you want to include that, and then in rare play, but I was expecting a bit more than that.
But think about it. They announced Scalebound and Crackdown very early. Let's say those 2 games had been announced at this conference. But
I didn't think that the show that they had, in terms of we talked about that wow moment, but they have those games that they moved out of it, and I don't think the show was better for it. I think Gamescom was better for it.
Absolutely.
But what gets me is the fact that they don't show any trailers to set them up or anything. They just say, they're just going to be Gamescom. Like I don't.
Yeah,
it's a month and a half away
for each one.
It's a month and a half away. They had to cut stuff for this show because they already said they were running long. I'm glad that they're going to get the due they deserve, and you're going to see actual, like, full presentations at Gamescom. Because it looks like Microsoft's not going to let up. That Gamescom will be as big as E3, honestly. And that's they're not pulling shots for Gamescom, because last year they got criticized for what happened. I mean, completely destroyed because they're ignoring Gamescom. Fuck them. They need to support Europe. Da 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 da. This way, they can go into Gamescom completely Europe focused and say, hey, look at all these fucking amazing games. We got Scalebound, we have Quantum Break, we have this and that, we have all these indies. They're going to have a hell of a show.
And they said they're going to announce new IPs at Gamescom as well. So,
and let's not forget this. Sony is doing their show tonight. And let's say Sony comes out just banging and hitting really hard. Microsoft had the news this morning. They might get drowned out by this evening. But they're
going to be
Gamescom.
all alone at Gamescom.
Yeah, they got Gamescom and their whole message. And that's going to really help them with marketing.
And going into the holiday season, yeah.
Because nobody's going to forget Halo 5 at E3. Nobody's going to forget Forza at E3. Scalebound would have gotten forgotten. Scalebound would have been, yeah, you got Fallout here, you got Halo, you got fucking everything else. Scalebound wouldn't have got the attention it deserves. Quantum Break probably wouldn't have got the attention it deserves. But by pushing it off by a month and a half, you'll control the news cycle, and I think that's what they're going for.
I just thought that, as I said, they could have just, rather than just saying it, they could have showed, small teaser trailers or something. I don't know. But the other thing is, there was kind of things like, I thought that, I wasn't expecting do we assume Recore's a AAA game, or do you think it's not? Like, I wasn't really sure where it was on that spectrum. So, but I wasn't expecting, sort of two games that size. I was thinking more that, because they do have a lot of AAA's announced that they would have more smaller stuff. I mean, Press Play and Twisted Pixel weren't there. They might be in the Daily Show, but for Twisted Pixel, certainly there's no hint of it. So I was expecting them to have more smaller things that they've been working on with new studios as well, which was, they had indie games obviously, but more, a bit like Ori, that sort of game. And that's sort of something I thought was kind of missing as well. That, if they'd have had, 2 or 3 of those, that also could have been, something a bit more exciting. But, they might be in daily shows, but, as it stands, we don't know.
Well, they said they were going to do E3 different this year, so maybe we see a lot of gameplay in these daily shows.
Mm. So, but, as I said, it was a good show. I think the thing is that I think the first, I remember, I was looking at the clock, at the time, and the first half an hour was like, oh shit, this is what they've shown us already. What else are they going to show us, in the next hour? And then, and obviously, they did have third-party stuff, which they're obviously going to do, and their indie stuff. I'm not criticizing them for having that. I just thought that, the first half an hour was just so blockbuster.
It was really good, yeah.
The second sort of hour just didn't quite match up to it. That's not to say that was bad, because it wasn't, but that was just kind of how I felt.
Following up something like backwards compatibility is hard. Really, really difficult.
Especially so late. Like, it's not like this is last year's E3. I mean, this is kind of late for them to go, yeah, and backwards compatibility's here. This is something they've been working on a while, and it's a huge get for them to be able to, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do it right.
Hey man, we got 9 minutes until EA show.
A friend just texted me, I don't know how true this is, saying that the modular controller is going to be $150.
Well, it's designed for people who want a hardcore controller.
Just to throw it out there, the Hori pad that is modular, that is definitely not as nice as this, is about $150.
Yeah, they can price it whatever they want, and people shouldn't bitch, because that controller is made for people who want to spend a shitload of money on a controller.
And get a custom controller.
Yeah, like
really
Hori makes awesome controllers, and that's just the what you pay. I hate to say it's what you pay. It's just how it is. But I want the fucking controller. I won't lie. I don't know if I want to spend $150 on it, but it looks fucking awesome. I want to try that D-pad. I just don't think it'll be worth, like, for me personally, I don't it's probably not worth $150. It's not, I'm a casual gamer, even though I do a fucking podcast. I enjoy talking to y'all about it, but I play Minecraft. Let's be honest here. I play thousands of hours of Minecraft. Do I really need a Precision Pro controller for that?
No.
I enjoy playing.
Sea of Thieves is unreal.
I enjoy playing Halo with y'all co-op. I can do that with a standard controller. I'm not the biggest Killer Instinct fan, but I enjoyed playing with it. It works fine with the D-pad on the Xbox One. I don't need a Pro controller, and the majority of people don't need a Pro controller. But if I was a tournament grade player of Killer Instincts, I'm sold. I'm buying it. I'm getting all the little fucking attachments that are probably going to cost you $20 for some analog sticks. Everything's going to be really expensive, and that's just how it is. I mean, hopefully it comes with all the accessories for $150. I would imagine it would, but who knows? But yeah, it looks cool. It does. Was there anything else that stood out to y'all about this conference?
No.
No.
I thought it was. I was a bit surprised that Dark Souls 3 turned up there.
Yeah.
They seem close to Sony, but there were a couple of games, Battleborn and Mirror's Edge Catalyst, that I was surprised didn't turn up.
I thought we might see Mass Effect, and we didn't see that either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's coming up in like 7 minutes. So.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Yep.
We'll see.
Yeah.
They probably don't want to blow their load like an hour before.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reveal.
You know what? I will say this: I was happy to see Fallout running on an Xbox One.
Yeah,
it looked good. It wasn't the exact same stage demo that we saw. It was different.
Right.
And we got to see some combat. We got to see inside the city a little bit more. It's pretty awesome.
Some screenshots of Gears of War Ultimate Edition just came out with before and after. This isn't just the PC version. This is a remaster for sure.
Yeah.
It's a full remaster. So, yeah, $60 is a lot, but it doesn't look like it's just a port with a little coat of paint on it. It looks really good.
It's just after Master Chief Collection, it's like it's hard to want to pay full price for just one.
It's true, but if hopefully they do bundle in the 360 versions of the sequels, because if they do that would
they do like remasters of all three of the games over time. Either or.
Yeah.
If they do that, that would be incredible, but I doubt it.
As part of the $60?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. We'll see.
They don't do the multiplayer, just do the campaigns. If they did that, that would be mind-boggling.
All right, guys. We only got a couple minutes until the actual EA conference.
Yeah, I gotta wrap this up.
So we're gonna wrap up the show. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thanks for following, subscribing. Write us at letters@xboxuncut.com and tell us what you thought of the E3 show and what game really got you excited. We probably won't post this podcast till tomorrow because I'm gonna be watching the Sony conference.
Busy, yeah.
I'm watching the EA conference. We're gonna be doing all kinds of stuff. We're gonna live stream the EA one, right? Is everybody still into that?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm ready.
So we're live streaming the EA one. And the Sony one, if it's all Project Morpheus, I don't know if I'm going to live stream it. Maybe. I don't want to grit my teeth at it, I don't want to be the guy that's like
We're an
complaining the whole
Xbox
time,
podcast. We do not have to stream a Sony conference.
No, we don't.
But you know what? We're going to cut it off here. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Peace out, everybody.
Later.
See ya.
Goodbye.